Yo, this week's achievement of the week is Worms Armageddon for the PlayStation. I need to get complete mission 10. As you can already see from the timer, this is quite a long one. Didn't really need to be. That's basically down to the port. As you're about to see, it takes sometimes over half a minute for AI to come to a decision on what it's going to do. And it just ends up doing weird crap anyway. So yeah, it's safe to say the difficulty in this game doesn't come from being killed by the enemy. It comes from fighting the time. So to actually do the missions in the first place, you have to do basic training. The first, you need to get the bronze medal in that. So the first three thingies. What's first one? I can't remember. First one's grenades. Then you have a shotgun one. Then a bazooka one. As someone said in Retro Achievements Discord, it's called basic training, but this is clearly not a tutorial. It don't really tell you what you need to do. It just says, blow up the targets, basically. Luckily, I've been playing Worms since I was, 5-year-old or something. So I know the ins and outs in it. I never played this version. I've only played PC version, and the difference is insane. This is a really bad port. You'll already have been able to see one of the main things is you have to scroll everywhere. Like, this level is actually a perfect example. When you're on PC, you can basically see every target without having to scroll at all. On this one, you don't know where you're shooting. Look at it. So yeah, that were annoying. So yeah, like I said, this video is really long, so I don't think there's going to be as much of me talking in it. This first bit, there will be, because these are quite rapid, but then we get onto actual levels. Some of them are really long. I said really long, like 10 minutes tops, but the thing is, it's 10 minutes of, as I've just been on about, after it's just waiting for computer to do anything. So yeah, at one point I were actually toying with the idea of not putting any commentary on them anyway, just letting them run through, but no, I decided I need to at least test on it. So yeah, as you can see, these basic training missions, really easy. Even the ones, I didn't bother getting gold, because like I said, all these are really about is getting the achievement of the week. If I wanted to play this game, I'd play the PC version, you know what I mean? It is tons better. Right, so now I've got that, we go straight to first level, which we're actually going to re-record that because I didn't leave it there long enough to read, but I guess you can pause it if you want to read it. So yeah, this is obviously the first mission. It's really straightforward. Basically, you just got to collect a crate. I just realised you can probably get the cat in the background. There's nothing I can do. She's in heat. So I apologise that you're going to hear her over and over again. Yeah, as you can see, this weren't my best mission, but I just, any that I actually managed to do, I just left them in there. So this one, on both, I think I'll blow myself up. Yeah, I do. I'm going to blow myself up on them two mines as well. But I still finished mission, that's all that matters. Looked like I were gonna land in water, but no, we're good. For the record, all my worms are named after my cats. You can only choose 4 worms on this one. On PC, you get a maximum of 8. You can also customize what your worms sound like and stuff like that. Whereas on this, obviously, they just stripped it down to the basics, really. Surprised I got a silver medal on that. That's crap. Operation Market Garden. So as you can see, from now on I start leaving it on a little longer so you can read it. this was the first slow mission, let's say, mainly because of Wee's start. I guess I could have like used blowtorch or something, but I don't know, I thought, screw it, we'll just play classic Worms, throw the grenades back and forth. I did consider fast forwarding every time that they asked to make a decision like this, but there's that many times it'd take me a length of video just to do that. So yeah, left them in. On this one, like I said on what last game, genuinely can't remember. Oh yeah, with that Super Mario Hack 3. Like, so I weren't really going out of my way to get any other achievements, just the ones that would have been got on the way to getting the one I needed for the achievement of the week. Well, on this one, there's a couple of achievements I decided to do as I was playing. There's only two, I think. Basically, a couple of levels had some variables to make achievements out of, whereas most of them I just beat the level, which I already obviously did anyway. So yeah, there's a couple of levels. I can't remember which ones. I think it's 6 and 8. Maybe. I can't. We'll know as we get to it anyway. Yep, the classic Worms back jump, always annoying because it does that. But you tend to get there eventually. This is taking a lot longer than I remember. And then I think I miss anyway. Yep. I've decided to change my initialism as well. Like, as you see there, it's DSOTM. Well, I should have realised this in the first place. That's the initials of Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. I'm not that into Pink Floyd. That album's not bad, I guess. But for its worth, my name actually comes from something else that got its name from Dark Side of the Moon, which is Dark Side of the Moog. By, is it Klaus Schultz and Pete Namlock? It's like a synthesizer music, yeah? One of the songs were on GTA 4, I think. It was the pause menu background music in one of them, I think Ballad of Gay Tony. And I thought it sounded very good, so I went and looked into it, and yeah, they're really good albums. So that's where my name come from. Dark Side of the Moog. Oh, although I've changed that as well. It's now Dark Side of the Mog. Because the initialism that I was just on about, I could change it then to DSOT Mog, which I think sounds pretty good on its own. So, you know, that might actually just become the name, you know what I mean? Like, what do you call it, a backronym. Yep, we're only just halfway through this mission. Thing is, I ain't actually, obviously, I ain't exported this yet, so part of me is thinking, do I just go and delete all these bits that I'm weighing? But I don't know, then I think video would look a bit, it'd be way too many cuts, wouldn't there? Which is why I was thinking of speeding it up. Which I guess I haven't looked into how you'd speed up. I don't think it'd take much doing. I imagine you might even just be able to select it on timeline and shorten it. Yeah. This is painful, isn't it? Oh well. I think it's no one's going to watch all of this video, I think. But at least part of the reason I want it there is for my own like archives kind of thing. I just thought I might as well turn it into a more an actual traditional video, if you know what I mean. Traditional YouTube video, whatever. I am now streaming as well, which because there were a lot of types of videos I wanted to do, but some of them don't really make sense in video form. To some extent, these might have been better streamed, but I do want some videos. I'm also on about doing like betas, alphas and betas, or play tests, whatever you want to call them, on here. Maybe they'd make more sense on video, and like do these on stream. No, I think these make more sense in videos, don't they? I think ones that I'll stream, leaderboards of the month start this week. This week is Kirby Superstar, known over here in UK as Kirby's Fun Pack, I think, because it's like loads of mini games. So yeah, that makes sense. But I've already looked into getting Ice Core in there. It looks really, really dull. Like I don't even know if I'm going to do it. It's going to be one of them where I'm basically just killing one enemy over and over again for hours. I don't see any fun in that. So as I said before, with leaderboards, I'm just going to do them casually, you know what I mean? Like, I'll do them. I'm not going to try and get the top spot, because there's going to be people, there already is at least one guy that's just, he seems to have dedicated his life to it, like putting hours into it, and it's like, come on man, it's just a little game. But whatever, if he wants to win, he wants to win. Like I say, I'm just happy taking part. That's the fun for me. So, you know, I've done a run on it. Got just under 300k. Should get me a point. That's all I'm bothered about, really. Anyway, I haven't really talked about this video or other, which clear to see why. This level in particular, there's nothing happens on it. It's just back and forth. Like, I could have blowtorched through, I guess, but I'm starting to think I should have, because I know how long this goes on. Next level's quite long as well. Differences on that one, at least, it is there's a lot more action, I think. Well, there you go, I took one out. Last one to go, but I already can see myself. There's another 3 minutes or something. That timer, in fact, I'm quite sure that gets down into the zeros. Like, I come quite close to failing it, did I? I can't remember, actually. This one I did a few times and failed. Oh yeah, and back to my name. I also kind of like DSOTM because it looks a bit like Symphony of the Night. So at one point I even considered changing the name to Dark Symphony of the Moogle. Just try and get as many references as I can in there. But that's what I'm saying, I don't want a reference to Dark Side of the Moon. Not because it's shit. It's one of them that I'm indifferent to. I don't really... the history of things that I've been into would point to me being interested in Pink Floyd, but I just think it's a bit too slow for me. I do like psychedelic music. I'm a huge fan of Porcupine Tree and Osric Tentacles, so that's my kind of psychedelic music. You know, like later stuff, I guess, 80s, when that started. And it got a bit more electronic, let's say. Not a really good shot, wasn't it? This guy should have been easiest to get. But it were, I do this, it were, I just didn't want to move. I could have easily moved at least one at once to just jump down there, I think, and it would have been done in a couple of turns, but I'm stubborn like that. I just wanted to do it properly, kind of thing. So I only had 2 worms on this one. Next one I have all 4. So yeah, as I said, they're named after my cats. See if you can guess why they're named what they are. It's a little puzzle for you. At the minute they're all running around, so like I say, if you hear any strange noises of hustling and bustling, they're my cats. So yeah, I did my first Twitch stream last night. I started with Parasite Eve. I watched it. It took me quite a while to sort out the internet, because as it says on my Twitch bio, whatever you want to call it, the internet connection I'm using, I'm living in a studio flat, and there's like 3 more around me, and we all have to use the same internet until, you know, I could get me on. I've got a lot of other things I could do with taking care of first. So basically I'm having to use my phone. It worked a lot better than I expected. Streaming at 900p because I'm using a 21-inch monitor at the minute. That's 1600 by 900. I could use my TV, which is 1080, but for games like this, what's it matter? So yeah, if you ever do go to my Twitch stream, now you'll know why it's streaming 900 and not 720 or 1080. Didn't see point in downscaling it, considering it's a great aspect ratio anyway. Alright, so yeah, this one is just straightforward. Kill them all kind of thing. Oh, this was the one, there's an achievement on this one. An extra one. So the achievement is kill the captain before you kill anything else. So now you'll know why I'm just going for this one worm down there. And leaving all other ones until the end. For what it's worth, this is the longest of the levels by a significant amount. A little bit longer than the last one. Well, I'm saying it because I can see timeline. I'm basically, how I'm doing this is I've done all the editing of the video itself. Now I'm just watching it back and recording me talking over it. I did consider just talking, you know, as I'm playing it, but it don't work as well as I'd like. I don't know, it just, I feel it makes more sense to do it like this. Does it? I don't really know. I think it's more that you're only seeing the levels that like I've finished. So if I'd have been talking all the way through it, it took me what, 6 hours? And it would, all of the amount of wasted energy, you know what I mean? Or just me talking to simply be deleted. There would have been 5 hours of that. So, you know, that's what streams are for, aren't they? That is kind of what I'm on about with some things make more sense on stream. I'm kind of thinking this, but then the stream would have been 6 hours. Everything would have been all over the place. No one would have actually seen me get the achievement, that kind of thing. So maybe I'll start doing both. That makes sense. As long as I record my voice as a different channel, then I can do the same thing, you know what I mean? Like in my Twitch streams, obviously they'll have me talking over it, then I can record the same video, remove the mic audio, then put me doing this back over it. So I think that's what I'll start doing. Because in all fairness, I might as well just stream anything like that. There's no reason not to. So yeah, all the making of kind of thing will be streamed. I might even, to some extent, you know, like as I'm making these videos, this is first I've thought of it, I could stream that as well. Anyway, I'm not really talking about the levels or the game, whatever. I don't know. Again, there's not to talk about. He hit me with a grenade. It were a good shot. It were right next to me, so what a surprise, you know? Yeah, it looks like I couldn't really make my mind up on this one. There's a lot of weapons missing from us as well. Like, there's no banana bomb. There's all special weapons, but I don't even know how you get them. I ain't seen any of them. Like, I've selected all the hand grenades for my team, but still never used one. I guess that's because it's missions, but yeah, like I looked through options and I didn't see banana bombs. Can't remember if mole bomb were there either. Just classic weapons that I feel like this should be seen. So as you can see, this is one of them that took him nearly 20 seconds just to figure out what to do, and then what did he do? Nothing. So yeah, this one's kind of made slower by the fact that I did that other achievement, to be fair. Otherwise, right at the beginning, I think there's 2 you can knock off straight away. Classic ninja rope troubles, getting caught up. Like, look, you can see them 2 there at the beginning, I think. Oh, you don't get a shotgun. I'm not sure then. Either way, you'll be able to knock at least one of them into the seat. Oops. So on PC version, you can make your worms sound like they're from Barnsley, which is near enough where I'm from. For some reason, I've always had it in my head that Team 17 were from Barnsley, but then after doing a bit of research, yes, it turns out they're from Wakefield. So still Yorkshire, just nowhere near where I thought, which I guess means I always thought that they were like the closest big game company to me. There were at one point an Infogrames in Sheffield. It's not there anymore, I don't think. And what's the other one? Gremlin. Like, Gremlin actually came from Sheffield, I think, but they're not around anymore, are they? So they were mint. Oh, in fact, that's just made me realise something. Gremlin. They made Valhalla and the Lords of the Underworld on Amiga, and its 2 sequels. Them games are amazing. I love them. So if they're by Gremlin, they might have been made in Sheffield. So that'd be cool if it turns out that that's actually the big game from where I'm from, kind of thing. It's better than Worms. Probably a bold statement that, but I just like them kind of games more. In fact, that is really a good game that don't get enough attention, I think. It's like an adventure game, top down. I don't think there's any combat in it. Not proper combat, you know, it's like adventure game type of stuff, not like Zelda. That's what I'm saying. What's good? Like a point and click adventure, except you're actually moving on a top down grid kind of thing. I might not be making it sound very good, but it is. You should look into it. It's for Amiga, and there's also, if you actually just search Valhalla and the Lords of the Underworld, oh, Lords of Infinity, not Lords of the Underworld, Valhalla and the Lords of Infinity, or Lord of Infinity, one of the two. Kind of like I'm getting carried away again. Yeah, like 10 years ago or something, the guy behind it made he remastered them all and released them on his own website. No idea why he'd only do it on his own website, because no one's heard of him. I think though, last time I looked, he's porting them over to Switch, which would be pretty cool, because they got absolutely no attention on PC, because again, no one knows about them. They're not on Steam, they're not on anything. It's just a website. I've still never bought them, because you want like 30 quid for an entire pack or something like that. It's not worth that. It weren't worth that when he first did it, no offense to the guy. But the first episode's free, which is the only one I've actually played now I think about it. So yeah, I recommend that. Oh, look, a sheep. Oh yeah, a nuke goes off on this one. So when a nuke goes off, at least I'm sure on some of them it always takes your health down to 1. I guess not on this. That might just be because some sudden deaths it also nukes you. But either way, basically it just means you lose 2 damage every turn. And the water rises. I can't remember if it rises every turn or after every round, if you know what I mean. So after every worm's gone. Probably that, because otherwise it'd be over pretty quick, wouldn't it? We'll see in a minute, I guess. Not a good shot, wasn't it? Like I said, the AI on this game is abysmal. Every so often you get an earthquake. Yeah, after all that going on about Valhalla and the Lord of Infinity, it's actually by Vulcan Software, not Gremlin. Got them mixed up. It's still a mint game though. Yeah, Vulcan are from Cotswolds. How long left of this one? Not as long as it looks actually, about a minute and a half. So here's a prime example, or how abysmal this AI is. It took like 22 seconds then for it to even decide to do anything. I mean, at least this time it hits me. Barely. But you know, it's like most of the game is just sat watching basically a still image or a worm with a question mark above its head. Not sure why I didn't just use bazooka, to be honest. I guess if you live by the grenade, you must die by the grenade. The amount of sirens around here, like I've literally just this one section. This is the third time I've had to do this because there's been sirens. It's doing amazing. So there's that scrolling I'm talking about. On PC version, because of higher resolutions, you don't need to do that. I mean, these days they are custom resolutions, don't get me wrong. So when the game came out, I can't remember what max resolution were, probably 720. But obviously PlayStation has just got its native resolution, I can't remember what that is, but it's pretty low in it, like 320 or something like that. So yeah, you have to do all that scrolling and it really gets annoying, especially when a worm's far away, as you can imagine, because you just can't see it, you're aiming at nothing. I might even at end put one at missions, maybe this one, like the PC version of it, to show you how much better it is. You also on this one, on PC version, this is where you'll get 6 worms. You only get 4 on this. I'm not sure if they actually add more computer or remove computer worms on this one. So maybe, yeah, I'll do this level. Quick recording. I'll record that one when we actually talking as a player as well. I should really do timestamps because I know at one point there's a really nice loud cat trill sound. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it to take it out. There, so that's the longest level done. There's one more that's close to that size. But this level's a pretty quick one. It's kind of fun. It's the first one that's like... In fact, no, it's not. The first level's similar. Basically, you just got to pick up a crate on a like kind of stealth mission, so to speak. You know, you're a bit like Solid Snake or something like that. Oh, that bloody jump. Oh, I've just realised you get a minute. So all these times that I've been saying it's, what, 15-20 seconds waiting for one. Well, it's not, it's half a minute. You gotta think about it, like, how many times is it 30 seconds or more to wait for a worm? A lot. So, you know, at least 15 minutes I imagine this video is just the worms thinking. So yeah, this is one of them levels where it's basically just trial and error until you figure it out. When you do, it's really straightforward. Seems a bit weird that I did that on a final run. You know, usually that means I've usually have gotten attacking by now. Never mind, I clearly complete it, so it don't really matter. Not the greatest of shots, but it worked. And it landed in a perfect spot for me to get that weapon that I don't think I even use anyway. I do, we'll see. Can't remember what I used to get this worm on right, yeah. Surely it were another strike. In which case I did use that weapon. Actually, I'll be honest, I actually missed what the weapon I got. Well, it looks like it were another strike, so that'll be why. So I did use that weapon. I needed that weapon. That particular shotgun bit, then where I blew that lamppost away, it reminded me of Lemmings. Like, now I really want to play Lemmings. I guess that's something I'll stream. I think there is no retro achievements for Amigas yet, which is really a shame in my opinion, because Amiga is by far my favourite gaming system of the era, if you know what I mean. Before PCs took over, obviously. So yeah, it would have been nice to play an Amiga version of Lemmings through and get achievements for that. This level, I had a nightmare with. I think most people found it easy. I think my problem with it was, particularly at the beginning, you'll see I was going for like perfection for no real reason, and I kept falling off. So at the beginning, you can do 2 jumps. You have to do them in exact. If you look, they're like a pixel you have to move before you jump, so you can land there without sliding off into water. It's like, it was unnecessary to do, but I kept doing it anyway just because I'd got used to it, if you know what I mean, like a muscle memory kind of thing. Yeah, because of that, I ended up taking ages doing this level. As in, literally just that bit. Them 2 jumps at the beginning were what were causing me problems. Oh, and sometimes getting this to actually place, as you see here. I'm still not sure what that's about. I thought it might have been because it needs to be closer to worm, but then there's other times where I've put girders across the other side of the map, so I don't get it. So yeah, as you can see, this is as simple as get to the other side to get some weapons, come back, blow the top up and kill him. You only get 10 health, so once they get reinforcements, which is in a few turns, they can airstrike you. It's one of the reasons I like putting the girder there, because sometimes when they airstrike, that girder will save you. But I obviously never actually used that on one of my finishing runs, so that goes to show that I obviously kept failing at it. failure a few times from getting a bit too heavy on the jetpack accelerator, let's call it. Same coming the other way in a minute, actually. Yeah, we're halfway through this level. Next level's about the same length as first level. Then last few are really quick. Funnily enough, it looks like... Oh no, I was going to say last level must be shortest. It's not. It's the bit that I'm looking at must be... Actually, I don't know. We'll see when we get to it. Actually, yeah, it must be. It's not the shortest though. The shortest is level 8, which is another one that I went for achievement on. And it was because I looked into that achievement, to be honest, that made me realise how quickly it could be done. We'll get to that when I get to it though. Another... 17 minutes or something. Actually, I just realised at least we're over halfway now. So yeah, I came very close to dying on this one as well. Not only that, you'll see in a minute, I almost messed it up here because I wanted that little cove above me. I thought I want to get in there because then there's less chance I'll get hurt by the recoil of the shotgun. But as you can see, I had to give in because it just weren't happening. And it turned out we were safe anyway. But as you can see, look at the time and I really put myself in a bit of a predicament there. Will I make it? Well, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be a video. Just. Right, so this one might actually have been the one that I spent the longest on. Not because of... It were another one of them where basically the time kept running out. Partly because I kept messing about, I guess. Like even in this one, I think there's times where I'm doing stuff I don't really need to do, I just do anyway. Like that bit, I did that every time. Like, at no point did I try and figure out how to shoot him so he slides down slower and gets blown up by that mine, because that would have probably killed him in one. What are these timers on? Are these on 45? Because that went all the way down to 25. And look, still not doing anything. Oh, it would have been a minute if that mine blew him off. So yeah, on this level, for the most part, it's just Eve on her own little commando mission. Because it's the first one that gives you the ability to select your worm at the beginning of turn. I said first one, it's only one of the 10 missions that I've done. And like I said, I'm never going to be going back to this game. If I want to play it, I'll just play the PC version. I've already got it installed and everything. Yeah. Usually I just use either all the way until them top ones are dead, but on this one I decided to let Indy go after that other guy. Otherwise you have to teleport in there anyway, or find another way in. I remember thinking this should have been over in 2 moves. I think it takes 4. Oh no, 3. Yeah, 2 shotguns. There's also a few weapons missing on this one as well, I think. This might just be because I can't remember what were on Worms Armageddon. Safe to say, when I was a kid I played more, what were you even called? Were it Worms Reinforcements? On PC. I kinda want to play that again, it was very good. Must have been one of the first PC games I played. Looks like I had Amiga until about 95, 96. So it's kind of a coincidence in a way, like, I had my Super Nintendo, and for one reason or another I never got Worms on Amiga, but I did get it on Super Nintendo, and it's similar to this, like, it's just a really bad port. There's barely anything in it, it's all been stripped. It still works, I still enjoy playing it, don't get me wrong. It's just, then you get the actual version and you're like, what the hell have I been playing? I had a similar experience with Doom. I went around with my dad to his mates and he were playing Doom and Duke Nukem. And I'm like, wow, what are these? You know, I've got to get these. So I asked for Doom for Super Nintendo. And similar thing, it's like, what the hell is this? You couldn't even save. So yeah, again, I meant do. It were alright. Until after finally a few years of pestering my dad constantly to get a PC, we got one. And, you know, I've been obsessed with him ever since. Still remember getting Doom 95. Must have only been about 8, 9 year old. I remember getting GTA next year. As in the original Grand Theft Auto. Then I lent it to a kid at school. My mum kept complaining that I shouldn't have lent it to anyone. So she went round to get it, kicking up a stink and all that. When it came back, it was full of scratches. God knows what I'm trying to do here. I think I was going to go and shotgun sentry guy, then come back and get field soldier. Didn't work, did it? About a minute and a half to go on this one. Stupid things like that, making it take longer. Yeah, the next few levels should actually be somewhat decent to talk about. Simply because they're not as long. Like, what is there I can say on this one? I've already said. You went on a bit of a commando mission. As you've seen, she fails numerous times at many things. So I guess it's fair, if I did want to go back and re-record some of these levels, I could have done them quicker. But most of them I'd tried so many times, I just couldn't be bothered to go back to do them again. I'm gonna say this last one, there's at least one more, isn't there? Yeah, I didn't know I wanted it to either. I wanted it to go down a little gap next to him. And that probably would have killed him. Now I'm thinking about it, I could have just... What was I going to say? I could have just sped up the entire footage. Wouldn't have really mattered, would it? It's a bit late now. I've already been talking for near enough an hour. And obviously if I start speeding it up, then this is not going to fit. Unless I speed me up as well and sound like a chipmunk. Or a worm. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the last turn either. As usual, pissing about on the rope makes me run out of time, I think. Actually, I could be wrong. I think I'm going to manage it. Because as you can see, what I wanted to do, we'll get back on there. So I can do that. Oh, yeah, I definitely missed. At which point, oh great, now we're going to lose this one. Struggling to remember what happens, but I'm pretty sure it even disappeared. Oh, it just skips its go for some reason. Yeah, finally. Right, so these last few levels, the last level I know from getting stuck in it on PC version when I was a kid. This one I finished first time? No, second time. No, it was first time. What? It was second time because I accidentally jumped into this water. It was the first time really though, if you know what I mean. Seeing as this is the first bit of the level, it didn't really count as such. Yeah, this one's really stupidly straightforward. I don't know if I just got lucky when I found some more girders or not, but... For the record, there's an invisible barrier there, which is why I didn't put it more to the left, and I was worried I won't be able to get through, but I could. So this is where I'm about, like, there was that point where it won't let me stick a girder down for some reason, whereas on this level, you just put them where you want. Spawnhead steps. And then that first weapon crate that you see on top of the first mushroom is also girders. So that's what I'm saying, this level is so easy. I think I go down there to get them crates simply because. And then I just leave the rest. I guess because on all other levels I've been getting every crate possible. These levels, I mean, you know, where it's like get from one end to other. I thought you had to, but then found out in this one you don't. This one's kind of weird actually, now I'm thinking about it, because that sentry there right next to you, it's basically impossible for him to take his turn. Like, it's always going to be before you even get there. And then it just goes down the line. So you're always like, they're always too far in front of you kind of thing. Because there you go, that's it. That's the level. Basically just means next turn, just run all the way through. It would if I could figure out how to place this. Yeah, decided against putting that there. Don't know what. Oh yeah. It says like, where am I even putting this? Now I remember. Another example of some absolutely superb AI there. And that's that. So yeah, next level, mission 8, the quickest one. Like, it'll be done in about a minute, if that. Yeah, basically the achievement is do it in one turn. So obviously you see that and you think, it's doable in one turn then, isn't it? Pretty easy really, as you see. Actually, a slight hiccup there, but looks like we must have done it. Done. This is another one where I barely remember it. Must have took me 2 attempts. It's going to say on all of them, except for the first one, that I've made no attempts. But that's just because, obviously, when you're recording it, it's easier to use the first one. There's no point in me recording that every time that I fail. That's something else I noticed about it, actually. Like, the Ninja Rope seems slightly different to PC version. Like, it seems a lot slower. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You know, like when you ram straight up into whatever your ninja roped toe, it tends to like rapidly bounce up and down. Whereas on this, it seems a lot slower. Oh yeah, this sort of weird one. I remember it now. Why? They're not the same team. Or different teams, but you know what I mean. They're both blue. Yeah, and for some reason we get all this infighting. Maybe this AI is a bit smarter than I thought. Yeah, this level were weird. Like, they just seem to kill the sense for me. And I didn't actually mean to use handgun there. I wanted to use shotgun so I could get them both. Never mind though. Look at her. Went for defensive. And this is mission 10. I remember this one very well because as when I was a kid playing on PC version, this is the level I remember getting stuck on for ages. It's slightly different to PC one as well. Can't remember entirely because I haven't looked since playing it as a kid. But I remember you definitely start with a bow and arrow. I think you're supposed to use as like a ladder towards top. Whereas on this one you can't, so you've just got to be very, very precise with your girders, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, I didn't do this on first go. But this was one of them where it's more about restarting than actually dying kind of thing, 'cause you know full well once you've messed up a little bit, that's it, level's done. But again, once you've figured it out properly and you know exactly where you're putting everything, stuff like that, it's straightforward. We're already halfway through it, basically. So this one's annoying. It's difficult to figure out where it needs to go. As you can probably tell, you can kind of use the sections as a guide. So the bottom one you always want about in the middle of that like platform at the bottom, if you know what I mean. And then the other one just below the second one. I also failed a few times because I couldn't remember how Aqua Sheep worked. Which is what you get at the top of here. So yeah, I can't remember whether you were supposed to wait for it to go in water before you set it off. So I ended up losing it there. And there you go. Mission 10 finished. Achievement unlock. The achievement get, that's what I meant. Alright, so now I'll put a clip in of the PC version of Worms Armageddon. I know I said I'd do all this level, but this video is long enough in it. So you can already see there's barely any scrolling involved, so it's a lot easier to aim. Just for what it's worth, all them other worm names that you see. When on Wormy X we had 7 cats, so that's what they all are. So yeah, I just want to show you AI now. So like, so that's the biggest gripe with the PlayStation version. Really, is just the AI is too slow. I mean, it might be unfair to compare it to PC, because particularly at the time, like when PCs were like way ahead of consoles, hence why I got into them. But I don't know, that would just, you know, there's lots of bad ports out there, and it's just this was really bad in my opinion. Oh, I'm doing it again, like the game itself is fine, it's just that AI bit. The AI and struggling to scroll around, and obviously it's nice to be able to customize things more. As you can tell, all my worms on this have got a funny accent. I didn't pick the Yorkshire one. So I just go for this camp one instead. It's more fun. But yeah, there you go. You'll have seen AI now. I've kind of skipped over it, not realising what I'm doing as I was talking. I guess we'll wait and let one more AI thing happen, see how long this one takes. So we're at 50 seconds. And there you go, less than 5 seconds, it's already done its move. On PlayStation it takes nearly a minute. Right, so now we'll move on to next week. It's going to be Rugrats Search for Reptar. I think in future weeks, I'm not going to do it this time, but basically how it works is whoever completes the achievement of the week gets put into the voting room. 5 games are chosen at random by a bot, and everyone who's in that room gets to vote on which one they'd prefer. So for next week's, I were going to go for, there's like an NES JRPG that looked interesting, but it was so obscure I knew no one was going to vote for it, and literally no one did. Which this is why I'm thinking from now on I'm going to start putting in the votes and everything, so you can see what the choices were and what the votes were. So yeah, basically I voted for Rugrats. My sister had it when we were kids, so I played through it a couple of times. It's a bad game, don't get me wrong. It's not very good, but it's also not very long. So I thought I just voted for that for slight amount of nostalgia I'll get from it. One of the few games I actually played with my sister, you know what I mean? I was more interested in racing games and stuff like that, which she weren't. So yeah, like I said, a slight bit of nostalgia, and it'll be easy to do. So yeah, if you've actually managed to watch all this way, then congratulations, because this one was definitely quite long-winded. Not a lot happened in it either, did it? What's going to happen in Rugrats? At least the game is constantly going, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be waiting for a computer at any point. I remember there were a bit that creeped me out when I was a kid. I'm sure it won't now, but you know, could be fun. We'll see. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching the video, particularly if you made it this far. And as usual, I hope to see you again next week. See ya.